Is this piece gonna make it, or does it have way too much damage? Today, I'm starting a 3-part series where I'm gonna take you from the very beginning through our process all the way to the end. I am notorious for buying pieces that have way too much damage, so we'll see if this one's gonna actually make it. I get a lot of questions about our high gloss process, and I hope to shed light on what it really takes to get this gorgeous finish. In our first episode, we'll talk about how we evaluate a piece and prep it, and also discuss my process for design ideas and options. In episode 2, we'll cover primer and color processes as well as top coat. And then in the final episode, we will be talking about buffing and final assembly. I hope to show you in real time how we get from rescued to refinished, including the good, bad, and the ugly. Every week, I put new products into production. This week, I've called Avery up from the bench. These Landstrom furniture pieces are very hard to find, especially in the Pacific Northwest. So when a Landstrom comes along, I pretty much drop everything. On my website, for any piece that you're looking at, there'll be a little tab with more maker information, so feel free to look at that. So this piece I actually found in Seattle. The guy was nice enough to hold it for a couple days for me so I could arrange my schedule to get up there. I met him in I think it was a Walmart parking lot, and he showed it to me in his truck. I agreed, handed him the cash, and he was nice enough to load it into my car, which was great. I'll tell you though, these sorts of deals, if anybody sees us, it would absolutely look like a drug deal. Before I put a piece into production, I aim to have the entire design concept ready. I don't always get there, but that's the goal. On Avery, it's pretty simple because she has a cousin, Eva. Eva is actually the first piece I ever sprayed in this new space that we have here. I had been looking for a Landstrom piece for probably 3 years, looking every single day. So when I found her, I had to jump on it. On this one, I asked my 83-year-old dad to come with me because meeting a random stranger in a storage unit isn't always the best idea. I kind of try to feel it out beforehand. On this one, I knew I was going to actually need Dad's muscles. These pieces are heavy. And we were very thankful when we got there because the owner had actually asked a neighbor to get it down from her 3rd floor apartment. So it was right there on the curb, thank God. So Dad and I just had to lift it and get it into our car. All in all, it was a beautiful sunny fall day when we picked this piece up, and it was way out in wine country. So it was a great drive and a great day. When I design a piece, I try to start with the hardware. Am I keeping it or not? With Landstrom pieces, it's a no-brainer. We are keeping it. The hardware is actually copper and not brass. So when it's polished, it's a beautiful rosy pink color. So we are definitely keeping these. Sometimes I ask the team to clean a single piece ahead of time so I can know if it'll actually clean up and be bright and shiny or stay aged. So I'm actually a graphic designer by trade. So I'm pretty well versed in Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. I start with a before image and bring that into Photoshop. Then I use a combination of layers and filters to eliminate the grain as much as possible, and then I colorize the image. I can't get an exact match to the swatch, but I can get pretty close. If I'm doing a custom piece for someone, I usually do a few mock-ups, including hardware options. So for Avery, I already know I want to do a green. With Eva, we did it in Envy Green. I think it's a Sherwin-Williams color. We also have a lot of luck with a color called Huntington Green from Benjamin Moore. Huntington Green is really olive, so I kind of wanted something that was a little bit more fresh, a little bit brighter, but still green. So I chose actually Stem Green. We just actually did the dipstick today, so there you go. So that's Stem Green. That's what we're going to do. I love it. It's going to be gorgeous, especially with the copper hardware. So we're going to go back and we're going to get Avery off the shelf and evaluate. Can we get your help to get this off? This is Avery. So the stuff we look for usually is it wobbly? Is the frame out of square?
Do a complete walk around, pull everything off of it. A lot of times you can see what's wrong with it by the back, because the back has one sheet of plywood, goes across the whole thing that keeps it square. So if you see a gap anywhere in there, you know the plywood's right. So it'll let you know that the furniture is wrong. Another thing is just the legs, this line right here. I'll pull on it this way to see if there's any give. And we have to solve that problem before we paint it, or that crack will appear through the paint as this thing gets moved around. And that's in both directions, not just this direction, but in this direction as well. Yeah. So I'll pull it, all 4 legs, in 2 directions each, just to make sure that they're solid.
So this one you can definitely see a crack?
That crack itself isn't a problem unless it gets bigger or smaller when I pull on it, which it does. I don't know if you can see that.
A little.
There's a little bit of give. That's all it takes. So what we'll do is fill it full of glue, screw it tight, and that'll clamp that. And the other 3 legs all seem good.
Good.
The doors, we want to make sure that they all close well and that the latches grab. These are bullet catches here. These are particularly troublesome to get out and put back in. So just want to make sure those are in good shape.
They're embedded in the wood, so if they don't work, it's kind of a pain.
What I have to do is I actually have to damage the piece to get it out and then repair the damage. So there's no way to just drive them out. You can see how that could be a problem, in which case we'd have to find a replacement or fix it.
Or a different kind of catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of wobble here, but nothing too concerning. Got some weird hardware solutions here. That's because the hardware was too long, so they built it up with this. So what I might do later is actually cut that down so that it doesn't look like this. It just looks like a regular piece of hardware when we're done, because this is kind of just a little weird. And then there's the drawers.
Whoa,
so
look at that blue or purple. Holy moly's.
This is awesome because it's removable. Some, we've had them where they're not removable. Oh, look.
And then we find weird things. I wonder what that key's for. We find all sorts of weird stuff.
Oh yeah, we have a whole shelf inside of all the things we find.
So sometimes this velvet board is actually attached to this under piece, like that's holding the drawer together, and we can't get that out.
Or it'll be under these, and we can't get these out. Like this is actually has a little give. I can actually pull these out.
Yeah.
Which we will do if we decide to paper it. We'll pull these out, put the paper down, and put these back in.
Yeah. We don't paint the interior of drawers. I randomly have seen people paint the interior drawers or the sides. We don't. We like to stop right here. And then when we paint, we actually wrap the paint around a little bit here, so this is not a vulnerable edge to chipping. But for now, we're just evaluating drawers for construction.
Right. We stop here so we can show off the dovetail construction, which is something they don't do anymore. So we like to celebrate it. It's both here and here. So that's just the first thing. The next thing is the drawer itself. Like that seems pretty regular. It seems like it's in good shape.
So everything else from here is cosmetic. Old furniture is so dirty. I mean, literally any furniture you have at home, you should clean periodically. This piece has definitely some damage here, and this looks like it's been chewed on.
Yeah, or a cat scratch or something.
Right, or a dog, or I don't know what, puppy. So that will have to get rebuilt up so you have a crisp edge like the rest of it, and it matches.
Another common thing is at exactly vacuum height. There'll be a notch all the way around the whole thing where it's like 40 years of someone running the same vacuum into this same piece.
Yeah.
We'll have to fill in those marks.
So this piece actually doesn't have a huge amount of damage. You know, there's always a risk if the piece is too damaged and isn't worth it. But cosmetically, I also, at this point, we like to evaluate the drawers, if mainly from the inside. Can we clean some of this off? If they're really stained, we will paper them. Also, if this wood is really dry, we use a wax or wood conditioner so it won't give you splinters.
I don't know what this orange is.
I know, there's a stain there.
It's in here too.
These probably will get paper.
So if we know that now, then she has this time while we work on it to pick the paper and get it here in the shop so that by the time we're ready for it, it's ready to go. And once we're done with the prep, you actually can't see the inside of the drawer again until we're completely done. So it's our only chance to do this inspection.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy.
Yep.
So during the prep phase, we sand the entire piece down, including all the door and drawer edges to a width equal to 3 playing cards. It's important to make room for the layers of primer, color, and top coat and to avoid any areas that might rub. In the end, everyone hates a drawer that sticks. So Avery is prepped and ready. We've covered all of the drawer glides. We don't want those to get all gunked up with paint. We've done Bondo in all the areas that it needed, including on these doors. So sometimes it's just a little nick here and there. And on this one, we're not filling the holes because the originals are gonna stay, the original hardware stays. You can also see that all the drawers are now wrapped and ready to move into prep. And that one area where we needed to adjust this leg has been completed. So we're off to paint.